This is episode 1 of the build series on this 2005 Yamaha YZ250. What's up guys, my name is Matt Berger and we are back with another build series. This one will be actually entered in Cameron Namella's Broke to Built bike build contest. We'll be entering this in the 2-stroke class. If you guys aren't familiar with who Cameron Namella is, he's another YouTuber that builds bikes. He does an awesome job. I've learned a ton from him over the years, and he's putting on this contest, so when the time comes, the voting will actually be opened up to you guys. I will let you guys know when that is. I'd really appreciate it if I could get your guys' votes, and I think we got a really good chance at winning this thing. So what makes my build different is we're gonna be doing it on a budget. I'm not gonna be blowing thousands and thousands of dollars buying all brand new parts of this thing, because that is super unrealistic. None of us have that kind of money lying around to just chuck into a dirt bike like this. And once we're done with this bike, we're gonna be selling it, and I still like to make a little bit of money, and we can't do that if we're spending thousands of dollars. So I bought the bike for $1,500. I'm gonna try to stay around $3,000, maybe $3,500, so we got a little bit of room to work with. And I'm gonna do like I do in all my other videos. I'm gonna keep track of all the time I have into it, all the parts I buy, the total cost. That way, at the end of the series, I can run through all the numbers with you guys. And that'll just prove that you don't need a whole lot of money to rebuild these bikes. If you shop wisely, don't buy things you don't need, and just spend a lot of time cleaning everything up, you can have an awesome looking bike for not that much money. Today is April 20th. This bike is due on May 10th. That gives us 20 days to get this bike and another bike done while working a full-time job. I'm an absolute maniac. Day one, here we go. Now that we got those plastics off, this thing cleaned up, it's actually looking a lot better, but we still got a lot of work to do. Let's get this thing torn down to the frame. Next, we got to rip these tires off, take the wheels all the way apart. I'm taking the rims over to my buddy Garrett. He's going to get them powder coated for me. That way I can stay here and work on the rest of this stuff. Alright, so we're having some trouble getting some of these spokes off. Essentially, when you go to loosen them, the whole spoke will just rotate, and you can't get that nipple to break free. So there's a couple things you can try with this. You can use, first, we're going to go ahead and use some PB Blaster. Spray that all kind of down into the threads of the spoke as much as you can. Let that sit for a little while, see if that'll break free. And then if that doesn't work, the next thing we're going to do is grab the torch, fire that thing up, and then just kind of go around and heat up all those nipples right where the threads go in, and hopefully that'll break it free. One final spoke left that I just cannot get. I'm gonna try it one last time, give it a lot of heat, really get on it with these vice grips, and let's see if we can get this off. Woo! Ah! 250cc beast of a motor. This thing is awesome, and I cannot wait to see it done. But first, it's looking pretty gross. We got to get it cleaned up. My buddy Andrew is going to vapor blast the cases, the cylinder, the head, get all that stuff cleaned up. Now, when I bought it, everything worked good. It ran, shifted through all the gears, so we know everything's solid. We're just going to be throwing a new bottom end, a new top end, cleaning everything up, and this thing will be ready to go. Now, before I start tearing into this thing is looking pretty gross. I want to throw it in the parts washer, get most of that big kind of gunk and grime off there. I hate working on dirty stuff, especially when you're taking apart a motor. You don't want, you know, all that gunk or grime down in all this stuff. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Much better. Not perfect, but good enough to start taking it apart. Let's get the oil drain, start pulling off the top end, and then we'll start splitting the cases from there. I must have either already drained the oil out of here or there wasn't any to begin with. Let's just hope it was the first one and I forgot, because not a whole lot came out of here. So the way you can tell if reeds are still good is you can look at the edging. If there's no chipping or anything, that's a good sign. These are good. And then if you hold it up to the light and look through and you don't see any cracks of light coming through, that means they are good to go. So these ones are in perfect shape. That's what it's supposed to look like, right? This piston's actually in really good shape. No crazy scoring or anything going on, so that is good news. Whenever I come across a Phillips head bolt on a dirt bike, especially in a motor, I always use a hand impact. These are one of the best and cheapest tools you guys can buy. I'll go ahead and link down in the description where you guys can pick one up. So just looking at this here, I can see the little tab that you bend up to hold this nut in has never even been touched. The OEM crank is still in here, so I'm almost certain these cases have never even been split on this bike. All right, finally we got everything taken apart, laid out here. I went ahead and put the cases kind of back together a little bit, make it a little bit easier to blast. But yeah, next time you guys see these things, they will be spotless. April 24th, 16 days left, and this is where we're at of what used to be a dirt bike. Now that everything's laid out, we can get a really good look on what needs addressed, what needs replaced the most. We got a good amount of work done here, but still a ton of stuff to do before this bike is ready. If you guys have not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. We got a ton of good stuff coming, and you guys don't want to miss out. Comment down below what you guys think I'm going to do with this. I'll give you a hint. We're going a little bit old school on this one. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I can't wait to see it myself. Episode 2, we're really going to dig in, clean a lot of this stuff up, start to get some stuff back together. I'll sit down and explain my vision a little bit more in depth with you guys. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in episode 2.